Hello, Goats community. We have an awesome guest for our very first AMA. I'm honored to welcome Sai Bysani. Sai is one of the top voices on LinkedIn within the analytics space, has over 150,000 followers on LinkedIn, and where he creates educational content for analysts at all different stages of their career. And he also recently started a Substack called The Data Hustle, which I subscribed. You should too. It's super, super great. So that's just there to help you navigate the data world, find opportunities to grow in your career, and already has thousands of subscribers. So very nicely done on I think it's only a couple months old now, right? So very, very cool. So Sai, welcome and thank you for your time today. So maybe to start out, did I miss anything? Is there anything else the audience should know about you or your background before we get into the questions from our community members?
I think you covered everything. Just to add, I'll add little background to myself. So I'll just say that I did pivot from electrical to data science, and I did my master's in data science at UConn, and I currently work as a lead data analyst at Blue Cross Blue Shield of South Carolina.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that too. And that's an awesome background. So we really truly have an expert here for all these questions. So kind of first question, just to start out, why did you get into data analytics? Like what was attractive about the field for you and got you excited to enter it?
So I would say during my bachelor's, I did my bachelor's in electrical, as I mentioned before. During my final semester, I had to take some elective called SQL. I didn't know what it was. I had to take something called machine learning. I didn't even know what these terms were, but I was very good at math. And so I really liked machine learning during my last semester of my bachelor's. And also SQL seemed very good working with data, structured data, querying. So those two courses really hit me. And then I started doing research on, okay, what are these, like what does machine learning mean, like what does SQL, where are these being used. I found out that there's something called business analytics, data science. Until 2021 I didn't even know what these terms were. Then I thought, okay, I need to do masters. Like I was you're looking for, I wanted to do masters in electrical, but then since I like this co-elective so much, I wanted to give it a try. It wasn't passion for sure, so but I liked SQL and machine learning when I was starting out during my final semester. So that's how it happened. I did some research on YouTube, read some blogs on data science, data analytics, figured out there's a lot of feature for that. I did few basic courses on Udemy, watched few videos on YouTube, built some basic projects, very basic projects, wrote my SOP, and then got into my masters. That's where I got into heavy and advanced stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, I think SQL, like for me, that's what was the most exciting thing for me personally, because I was very much like an operations kind of business analyst, not a very like robust data analyst in my previous roles. And for me, like once I started getting into learning SQL and learning all the things you can do with that, it's just like that was what got really exciting is like how many things I can figure out and how many problems I can solve and questions I can answer with that. It's very cool.
Exactly.
Yeah. So looking back, what was a pivotal decision you made early in your analytics career that had kind of a compounding effect over time? Like something you decided on or came up with and made that decision early on in your career that really kind of set the trajectory for the rest of your career.
So I would say I've started my data analytics career in corporate 2 years back. But what has helped me most during these 2 years is to ask why behind analysis. Like say if your stakeholder reach out to an ad hoc request, it's not about what they need. I go an extra mile and ask why is this report needed, or what are the business decisions that you would like to make based on my outcome. So that really saved a lot of time, and also the impact matters in the real world. It's not about how you have done, it's all about how your reporting or how your dashboards help your stakeholders make decisions. So asking that why when I get a request has really helped me and my team grow. So that's something that I would recommend everyone. It's not just about what you're doing or how you're doing. Asking that why, how it impacts business, it sets you apart and also makes your stakeholders life easier and then makes more money for your company.
Yeah, really well said. I totally agree. As starting with why is so important because otherwise there may be blind spots that your stakeholder didn't think of or you may just not understand the problem fully. If you're just asking like the what and the how, it doesn't really get to the root of why there's the request. I totally agree. That's very, very good advice. And it earns you that credibility and that trust with your stakeholders as well.
Exactly.
What skills or mindsets, and you kind of touched on a little bit of there, but what skills or mindsets do you believe separate a good analyst from a great one? Like in today's environment, especially, the field is changing a lot with AI and things like that. Like, so what skills and mindset do you think is really like kind of sets you apart?
One thing is technical skills can be learned, but people skills and soft skills are the ones that really set you apart. The way you think, your problem solving skills, critical thinking are the most underrated ones, but also these are the most important when you get into corporate. So how you talk, communication, the problem solving skills, the critical thinking abilities, these are the ones that set you apart. It's all about when you're talking with a technical person, you need to know what to include in your presentation. When you're talking with the business stakeholders, you need to know what you need to include in your presentation. So a business stakeholder might not understand what a window function is, or what does recall or precision mean in your machine learning model. So it's all about business impact when you're talking with business people, and also technical things when you're talking with your team leader or your manager, if he is technical, if he or she is technical. So understanding business, the domain, having the problem solving mindset, having good communication skills, critical thinking, that's what you're also being tested during interviews, and that's what also helps you grow in your corporate life. So I think these are people skills are the something that sets anyone apart, because technical skills can be learned, but these are the things that you need to learn by doing, maybe attending a lot of events or talking with people in the industry, like understand their struggles, strengths, weakness, what has helped them in their journey. So I would recommend connecting with different people from different levels and understand how's their work, like what has helped them most in growing, what's their failure. So don't just ask about their success stories, also ask about their failures. So understanding those will set you apart from the competition. So you can take a data analytics boot camp and learn SQL, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and whatnot. Like you can learn 50 tools, but people skills are what will set you apart in corporate.
Yeah, and I totally agree. It's really that like hard skills get you in the door, soft skills get you paid or promoted. I hear that a lot. I think that hits it right on the head there. Yeah. This one's like very personal to you. I can tell like whoever submitted this question, it was anonymous, like all the previous ones, but I can tell they did a little bit of research on who you are. So how do you balance a full-time job, content creation, and managing your own personal goals?
That's a great question. One thing, when I started out content creation, I was really putting in a lot of effort, writing content every day, and then used to. I mean, I come from work after 9 to 5 and sit from 6 to 10 writing content or connecting with people, replying to messages, having networking calls. But that was too much. I was under burnt out for first few months. Then later figured out, okay, this shouldn't happen. So what I started doing was I would put out some time during the weekend, like say 4 to 5 hours. I would write out all the content for the next week and then schedule it. So during the week I have my time after my work, like I work from 8:30 to 5, and then I have my whole time like to watch a movie or go out or hit the gym or maybe network or with talk with people. So I have my personal time from 6 to 10. So putting some extra time over the weekend has really helped me have a good work life balance. But when I started out, I didn't even know that this would lead me to burnout. But having some organized plan, structured plan is what really helped me in having a good work life balance.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. It's so easy to just say, oh, I have to, create this blog post or I have to do, X, Y, and Z maybe it's not even content creation, but it's you have some kind of personal project that you want to do for a side hustle. And I think content creation could be a great side hustle, especially as analytics is growing. I think you've demonstrated that really well that you could put content out there if you have some unique perspective. Maybe it's supply chain or finance or something like that. If you're just writing the kind of that domain knowledge, that industry specific knowledge, and sharing that with analysts that are learning, like that could actually be really beneficial and it can be, lucrative as well. So definitely a good thing. But even if it's just a personal project, I think that's really great advice is just to avoid the burnout. Just set some time aside, a couple hours on the weekend, something like that, and schedule it out. That's really, really smart.
Yeah, one more thing that I would add is block your calendars. Like I have my own calendar where I'll block like 6 to 7 for content creation, 7 to 8 cooking. I mean, you don't have to follow it, but then it clears up your mind. It sets your mind that, okay, I need to do this, I have to do this, and then later on, I'm free to do whatever I want. So blocking your calendars for certain things will really help you, and also having a to-do list. Have my to-do list set up for every day, like be it, I mean, it doesn't have to be technical or professional. It can be your personal things, watching a movie or going out, or
Yeah.
just having the to-do list for every day really helped me in being organized and not having burnt out.
Yeah. The accountability, I think, is huge. Yeah, just a self accountability. It's like you're
Yeah.
not even accountable to your boss or to your team or whatever. It's just yourself. It's like I know I have to get these 5 things done today.
Yeah.
Very cool. So this one's a little bit longer, a really well thought out question. So this comes from Donnelly. He's one of the Goats community members, and he shared, "I'm 50 years old. Haven't had the greatest luck in finding good jobs where I can really advance my career since about 2017. So he's been kind of going through this for a while. So after graduating with his master's degrees, so he's asking, how can someone like himself, who's mostly worked jobs like cashiering, retail jobs, things like that, stocking shelves, organizing shelves, physical therapy aide, personal trainer, lots of various different experiences. A lot of things where he's thinking that he can't add quantifiable achievements to his resume. How can he stand out among other candidates who may have a lot more robust background, like teaching, management, other kind of high level job roles? When he is, I know he is in an analytics. He's looking for an analytics role, and he's done a lot of that kind of homework. But he's wondering, like, even if he doesn't come from that kind of traditional analytics role, maybe doesn't have like really quantifiable things. How does he stand out? How can he kind of bring value when he's looking for an analytics job career?
I would suggest him or her to focus on the transferable skills. There might not be an impact. There are transferable skills for you, like maybe being resilient or problem solving skills that you had in your other jobs, critical thinking that you had to go an extra mile. How has that helped you in your growing your 50-year career, and how can that be transferred to your data analytics? So that's what I would focus on. And also, one thing that I would recommend is most analysts, be it a 20-year-old or 15-year-old or 25-year-old, they don't share their journey on social media. Maybe you have a lot to share, like you have done multiple jobs. So I would recommend putting yourself out there. That's what will set you apart, and focus on your transferable skills more than your technical skills. Like make it, maybe you can do a project out of combining both your technical and your transferable skills, and share your journey out there on LinkedIn. Within few months, I think it's going to be a game changer. It's not just about what you know, but who you know and who knows you matter. So visibility matters in 2025. So it doesn't matter if you can create a chat GPT from scratch, if world doesn't know that you have the capability. So make sure to put yourself out there. That's something that I would recommend. That's something that I would start right away. So whatever you have learned, be it technical skills, put it out there. If be it your transferable skills, put it out there. So share your journey. That will take you a long way.
Yeah, what I'm hearing you say is like, who knows what you know, and kind of people can see the way that you think when you share that stuff out there. So that's, I think, really good because I think oftentimes employers are really looking for, it's like, okay, they have these skills, we need those skills. But for these things that they don't know, how do they think about a problem? Like, how do they actually break that down and how do they learn? I think that's really important. So that's well said. All right, this one. How can an Indian who graduated fresh from an average college, they say, with a 6.5 CGPA, get placed in a product-based company or US-based company? That's what they're asking.
That's a good question. I know why he has mentioned average college, because back in India, your college degree and then college rank matters when you're entering the corporate. But the world is changing. It's again not just about your CGPA, but your skills out there. So I would recommend having a good portfolio is what sets you apart. So start thinking like a product person. Try solving a lot of product problems. Reading a lot of articles and blogs on product companies. So there are a lot of product companies out there. Go to their website, see what problems they are solving, how they are solving. So as you read most of these articles and blogs, that would develop your product sense, and also how to think like a product manager or product data scientist or product analyst. So that's a good start. And also, as I said before, put yourself out there, because it's 2025. Your CGPA might not be good enough when you're entering the corporate world, because back in India, your first step, they look at your university ranking, they look at your CGPA. So to set yourself apart, have a good portfolio, make sure to nail your interview. So get a lot of mock interviews. So if at all possible, get mentorship. Don't look it as an expense. Look it as an investment. Like, because when you're starting out, you need mentors. Like I still have mentors. I'm sure I'll have mentors even 10 years down the line, because mentors are what who will shape your future. So when you have an experienced person who has a lot of knowledge in the same field that you are in, the amount of knowledge that you gain from their experience is really different, and you won't get it anywhere else on books or articles. So have a good mentor, start building your portfolio, share your journey, get a lot of mock interviews, and then within few months you will see a different side of yourself.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point about mentors. They're so impactful. I mean, I think from everybody you talk to, whether it's just it kind of really speaks to the power of building your network. Even if they're not a formal mentor, just networking with people, you can learn so much from people's different perspectives, whether they're, even in the same country as you, but especially if you can reach out globally to people all across the world, you just get so many different perspectives. And that's so powerful. That's really, really good advice. I'm going to actually ask a question, follow up on the portfolio part. I've heard from some people, they say, hey, if you're just using practice data sets, like those portfolio projects don't matter as much. I'm curious in your perspective on that. Like, do you think that those things can still be helpful, or are they mostly helpful for learning? Like, you should really kind of focus on real world projects, or what's kind of like your perspective on projects and building your portfolio?
So for portfolio, I wouldn't recommend these guided projects like say Titanic or Superstore or Iris, Boston River. Hiring managers and recruiters have been seeing them at least from past decade or two. So these projects really won't set you apart because there's solution for, I wouldn't say solution, there's always hundreds of approaches for these problems out there, be it on Kaggle, YouTube, Substack. You go on any platform, you see these projects. So I would recommend get started with those, learn from those, understand how people are thinking, how people are solving, but don't put those on your resume or portfolio. It's just for your learning purposes. Once you understand how these people are thinking, how these people are solving, how different people have different perspectives on different problems, get your own data set from Kaggle or data.gov. There are like amazing websites out there. Or if you want to go an extra mile, I would recommend web scraping. With rise in AI, it has become a lot easier to web scrape. So you have a niche or you have a like passion, maybe football, or maybe you want to become a politician, or you maybe want to become a healthcare data analyst. So you have a niche, go find data on that. If you don't find it, scrape data from web. It has become a lot easier with rise in AI. So you have your own data, build a project end to end. And while building a project, I wouldn't just recommend building a project in Tableau or in SQL or in Excel. Use various tools. Use SQL for data cleaning and other stuff. Tableau for dashboarding. If the data is huge, host it in AWS or Snowflake. So integrate multiple tools like how you would in industry, because in industry you wouldn't have data in your Excel sheets, or you wouldn't have your dashboards in Excel again. So you would use multiple tools. You would integrate them. So I would try to replicate those in your portfolio also, that demonstrates that okay, this person isn't just stick to just Excel or just SQL or just Tableau. I would recommend building end-to-end projects. There are a lot of amazing YouTube channels out there that teach these for free. As example, Code Basics or Ankit Bansal. They have amazing projects out there on YouTube which do end-to-end projects. That's a good start for you. So learn from those. Have if you have a passion, go for it. Scrape data from web. Make sure to define the problem correctly and make sure to showcase the business impact at the end. Host it on GitHub again. Post online. Let people know what you have done. Let people know that you have gone extra mile. So all these things do matter, but get started with Titanic, Boston River, but don't put those on your resume or your portfolio because they have hiring managers and recruiters have seen them 1,000 times. I'm repeating that again.
Right. Yeah. And it's just like, how do you know you didn't copy it off of somebody else?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love the GitHub thing, but there's also some other great ways you can
Yeah.
build a portfolio as well. There's tons of them out there, probably too many to list, but there's some really great ones out there. So yeah, I think that's really smart, rather than just, use the guided projects to learn, but really go get the data yourself. And web scraping is a really great way to do it. I mean, you can ask ChatGPT to help you write some Python
Exactly.
code to go out to Reddit or whatever and just use their APIs to pull some data. So there's tons of great ways to do that now, and it's very, very easy. Speaking from experience, I've done it.
Exactly.
And not having any experience in web scraping, I was able to go out and do it with Python pretty quickly. So it's a
Yeah.
cool thing for people to try
Yeah,
out.
just to add, like ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, these are your best friends right now. Like you don't have to feel embarrassed or you don't have to feel shy to ask any question because no one's gonna know what you're asking them. So just ask any dumb question. Like just ask, they have a solution or they
Yes.
have their approaches for you. So ask them, like ask the LLMs and then get solutions, work it out, try and like it's all A/B testing. Like try and fail until you succeed. And also when you do a project out of your interest, you have a lot to talk about during your interviews, so it'll be conversational more than question and answer type.
Yeah, yeah, and I think to that point, like, I know that there's been a little bit of this kind of adjustment and maybe even some kind of pushback against using AI tools for your work. But the reality is like if you're getting to an answer faster and you know that you're obviously taking like data security and all that stuff into account, like a lot of those tools are actually enabling people to learn more a lot faster. So there's really no shame in using them. Like, do you want to use them to answer all of your interview questions? Probably not. That
Yeah,
might come off kind of bad, but if you're using it to figure out real world problems and then you're learning from that, I think that's incredibly powerful. So
yeah,
it's
I
something
use
really
them every day to understand new concepts. So
yeah. Me too. I've kind of instead of just Googling anything, I just asked ChatGPT to explain it to me like I'm 10 years old. Because
exactly.
sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm not getting it, but let's dumb it down a little bit for me.
Yeah, no one to judge. No one's gonna know what you're asking. You can learn as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we've got a couple questions from Yash. So first, coming up, do you believe a master's degree is required to enter the analytics field, or could someone succeed with just a bachelor's if they concentrate on the right tools and skills?
Yeah, I think master's degree isn't required. For me, it was a path to come to United States. So if you are in your own country, you don't need a master's degree to get your job, first job. I think in most countries, like at least it's a random number, but I'm sure the actual number is near to it. But at least 70 to 80% of them, they don't have bachelor's when they're entering the field unless it's required. So your skills are what sets you apart during your interviews or during your recruiter calls or during even when you get the job. So skills are what matters more than your degrees, but when you are entering the corporate or breaking into data. So I would focus on skills more than your master degree, unless you're moving abroad. Like say you want to move to UK, United States, or Canada or Australia. Your master's degree might be the bridge to enter to the country and then get high paying job. But unless you're moving abroad, I wouldn't recommend a master's degree unless you are passionate about getting a master's degree. But if your passion is about just getting into data, your skills are what matters.
Right. Yeah. Or if a company is paying for it, that's always nice.
Yeah,
That does happen.
exactly.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, no, that's good advice. So which three sectors or industries do you believe depend on data analysts the most?
I mean, I wouldn't say there are only three. There are like I think every sector out there is dependent on data analytics. So data is what driving the world right now. With the rise in AI, it has become more evident. So there's no such three industries or three sectors that are only data analytics focused. Every sector has opportunities in data analytics. So I mean, I would say every industry has opportunities in data analytics. I would just allow you to explore more in every industry and every sector possible. There are opportunities out there. Connect with people, learn from their experiences, and then go to career page and apply. If possible, get a referral.
Great. What common error mindset do you find beginners in data analytics typically fall into that you wish more people talked about and discussed?
First thing would be certifications. I have seen people who do 20, 30 certifications. I was there, been there, done that, had like 5 to 10 certifications, which are of no use. Certifications do matter only when you do a project out of it. So the first mistake most people make is they buy a boot camp and then they buy another boot camp. They'll try out a certification and then they buy another certification. I think I have around 20, 30 courses lying on my Udemy. It's like half eaten apples. So I have hundreds of them in my different accounts. So I've been there, done that. So that's the
Yeah.
first thing that I wouldn't recommend. Don't fall into certifications trap. Do some research, have one or two solid certifications, unless you are going into a like domain like healthcare or financial finance. You don't need certifications, specific certifications. Just have one or two certifications, getting joined one good boot camp, which has N2, which covers end-to-end criteria curriculum. So that's good. And second thing is you're not gonna get a job in 1 or 2 months. The market is tough out there. So there are, I mean, for every role there are like at least 500 people applying. So everyone has technical skills. You need to do something unique to set yourself apart. So that's one thing. Like I have seen freshers who try for 1 or 2 months and then they would be like, this is not gonna work out. I'm gonna pivot to another they say computer science or go back to their niche field or whatever like previous field was. So that's something. Your overnight success is a myth. It's not going to happen. I'm saying it like straight to your face. So it's not going to happen in 1 or 2 months. So it takes consistent efforts. You need to learn tools, build projects, build your portfolio, build your network, get mock interviews. Even after doing that, everything can go wrong. So there are a lot of factors that can be uncontrollable, like say once you apply a job, the company might have a budget restrictions, they might close the role, or they might be experienced person who's interviewing for the same role, they might get the job. There can be multiple factors that are not in your control, or someone might internal might get promoted to that role. That's not your mistake, you're just in the wrong place at the wrong time, but you just have to
Yeah.
be at correct place at right time just once. So you just have to wait for 1 years. It takes time, but it's worth it when you get there. So it won't happen in few months, but with consistent efforts and trying out different things and see what works for connecting with industry professionals. As I mentioned, learn from their journeys, what has helped them the most, what hasn't helped them the most, learn about their successes, failures. So once you do all these, it's gonna be worth it. So overnight success is a myth, and don't fall into trap of 100 certifications.
Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to do. And then I know that I found myself in the past, I'd go out and I would I would take like a Python certification class so I could strengthen that skill. And then I would go, 2 or 3 months without using any of it. I didn't put any of it to work. So I got the certification. I was like, great, I know all this stuff now. And then I wouldn't use it. And so then something would come up and, a few months down the road, and I was like, oh, I completely forgot how to do that. Now I have to go Google it because I didn't put it into practice right away. So I think that's a big part of it. That makes a lot of sense. What's one thing about your current role that still excites you even after these years in the role?
One thing that excites me is I get to work with C-suite. So there's a lot of learning out there for me. So talking with people who are at top level of the company, that's one thing that I really love about my job. And also I see data a lot, and then I see few problems, and then I have that connection with my manager or director. I can go and say I see a problem and this is my solution, can I give it a try? And they're always open to hear about new solutions or finding problems in the data. They never told me don't do that, or like this isn't good or bad. So they always pushed me to like, okay, if you find a problem in data, let us know, and if you have a solution, let us know, we'll give it a try if it's feasible and if it's impactful. So they're always open to hear. That's something that excites me every day to go to my job. And also learning from the best, I get to work with my manager directly, directors, VPs, presidents, CPO. So that's one thing that I think it's an advantage. I'm in my early career right now. I just worked for 2 years in corporate, but getting that exposure in early days of my career is something that I love about my job.
Very cool. Yeah, awesome. How do you personally stay up to date in such a fast moving field without feeling overwhelmed?
I would be lying if I said I wasn't overwhelmed, but I am overwhelmed. But then you need to stay updated for sure. So one thing that I would do is reading a lot of articles or blogs on company websites. There are a lot of people who write newsletters. So follow people who are ahead of you in career, learn from them. That's what I would do. There are a lot of people who has a lot more knowledge than me, who have a lot more experience than me, who are experts in the data analytics, data science, AI field. So follow them, read their newsletters, read companies newsletters. If at all you see a boot camp, if it's in your budget and if you have time, I would take it. Like even I do full-time job, and then I do personal, I mean I do content creation, I write newsletters, but I make sure that I set some time apart to upskill every week. Like it can be a free YouTube video, it can be a paid course, or it can be some fun project, so that I can share with my audience. So learning is something that I'm really interested in, because you never know when will AI replace you. And I think I've seen few jobs getting replaced. AI might not replace you yet, but then a person using AI will replace you for sure. So make sure to stay updated. Set apart some time. Like if you spend 1 hour a day, it's like 30 hours a month. So it's not
Yeah,
small amount. So small efforts consistently will doing it consistently will have major impact in the long run. So
yeah.
make sure to put in small efforts consistently and upskill yourself. Read articles, read blogs, do some fun projects if you have time. Keep upskilling, and then stay connected with people in the industry who have a lot more experience and who have a lot more knowledge than you.
Yeah, and I want to go back and touch on one point there. And this is probably going to be my last question, actually. We've gone through quite a few, and I appreciate your time. So, and this one might be putting you on the spot a little bit, but when you think of AI and how it's going to change the analytics space, what are some recommendations that you have to analysts, and where do you think like it's going to kind of change the space overall, just kind of from a high level?
So I would. I think, as I mentioned, AI is not there yet to replace an analyst, because I mean, I've seen ChatGPT can analyze and build a dashboard from scratch, but then the number of records that you upload might be 500, 1,000, 2,000 rows. But in the real world, you're dealing with millions, billions of records. And then when you use ChatGPT to build a dashboard, you only upload few tables. And then in real world, you have hundreds of tables, hundreds of tables, and tons of databases. Even you don't know where the which database to use, which table to use, which column to use, what's the data description. I mean, in real world you might not even have data dictionary, like you might not know what this column means. So I don't think it's there yet, but it can be there in few years. So that's something that I feel it's not going to replace, but a person using AI can replace you. But in few years it's going to be different. So stay updated, learn how to use them, learn how to make your work easier by using them is what I would recommend.
Yeah, I think that's really smart. I mean, the reality is we've seen all different technologies that have come and you know, people thought this was going to replace people and that kind of thing. And it really just kind of changes the way that you work. You know, it may replace parts of your job, right? Like maybe
Mhm.
AI, obviously, as you know, because you're much better versed in machine learning than I am, is very good at pattern recognition. So it can understand those things, but there's a human element to doing analysis work and finding insights and storytelling that's just not it's not there with AI yet.
Exactly. Yep. Combination of human and AI is gonna set you apart. Like, I mean, the AI can write codes for you. There still has to be human who evaluates it, because when you productionize it, it might not work. So it's not there yet. But I mean, I use AI in every day of my life. I use Copilot, Claude, ChatGPT sometimes depending on the use case. I
Right.
mean, I don't write this repetitive part of the course. I just put it in AI. I'll just ask it, can you rephrase it, or can you write it again by changing variable name? So like replacing, swapping, like these are manual tasks which I don't want to spend my time on. Like it's not worth my
Yeah.
time. That's when I use AI to do the manual work and automate it.
Yeah. I think that's the key part right there is automate it. Like get rid of the things that are taking up your time and resources so that you can focus on the more strategic, more important work that's bigger. I think that's the really the key part. And that's the it's the mindset of that I think sets apart somebody that's very successful and somebody that may struggle a little bit as these tools become more powerful.
Exactly.
Awesome. Well, hey, I think that wraps up all of our AMA questions. We had some great questions that came in. So thank you to all the community members. Sai, I really appreciate your time. I know the community does as well. This was extremely insightful. You covered a lot of great stuff here. So please, before we go, tell everyone where they can follow your work or get in touch with you.
Yep. I write content on LinkedIn. I also started my Substack. I think it's been 6 weeks. I'm at 5K right now. So I've been writing newsletters once a week. So you can find me on LinkedIn, Substack. If you find me, come say hi. I'll be more than happy to chat with you. And all the best, everyone.
Fantastic. Yeah, we'll make sure to put all links in any posts or video descriptions once this goes up. So yeah, thank you again, Sai. And then everybody, don't forget to join the Goats community over at datagoats.org. There'll be more AMAs in the future. Might have Sai back again for a podcast or something too, if he's willing to do it. So again, thank you again for the time. Really appreciate you and have a good day, my friend.
Thank you for the opportunity, Jack.
Thank you, Sai. Take care.
Take care.